Stuart Morris has over 20 years of continuous food service experience with PepsiCo, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, and as an owner-operator of several casual dining restaurants. Stuart has experienced the cause-effect relationships regarding corporate and entrepreneurial strategic decision-making. He has an expertise on transaction profitability via menu messaging and pricing strategy. For over 5 years, Stuart created and initiated the pricing strategies for over 1,500 corporately owned Jack in the Box restaurants, leading to the highest historical levels of company profitability. Stuart has an MBA from J.L. Kellogg Graduate School of Management at Northwestern and a BA from Claremont McKenna College. The following presentation was made by Stuart Morris, a restaurant industry consultant, at the Taco John's Franchise Convention in March 2008. The views expressed in the presentation are his opinion and are intended to provide optional pricing strategies to Taco John's franchisees based on his evaluation of the quick service industry and Taco John's restaurants in particular.
Hi, this is Stuart Morris with QSR Consulting Group. I'm sorry you couldn't make it down to the National Franchise Convention here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It truly was an out-of-the-ordinary experience. The following presentation I'm going to give you will hopefully deliver to you incremental profitability the next time you approach your menu pricing strategies. The presentation is a series of lists, 2 lists of 10. The first list is menu pricing considerations that you need to consider next time you take a menu price increase. And the second list is specific menu pricing recommendations for Taco John's. And these recommendations are based on the projects I've included in the last 2 years with both corporate and franchise restaurants. Going to our first list of pricing considerations. The first thing you need to remember is that all menu price increases are inefficient. There's 2 ways mathematically to grow your sales, and that is via transaction growth and average guest check growth. And when you add these together, that equals your sales growth. What happens typically with pricing is that you don't increase your transactions. In fact, you run the risk that you're going to decrease transactions. If you take a 3% price increase and you think you do a real good job of it, you will see your average guest check growth of 3%. But typically what happens is your guests are pretty smart. They recognize that you've taken a price increase. Sometimes you've taken a price increase too much on a product they like, and they'll do things that will hurt your business. For example, instead of coming 6 times a month to your restaurant, they're going to cut back and come 5 times a month. And of those 5 visits, instead of buying that one item that they used to buy all the time, they're going to buy it 2 or 3 times and then substitute let's say a $6 combo for 2 tacos and a water. So what happens is, over the course of time, your pricing that you think you're getting doesn't materialize and it becomes inefficient. So our goal is to minimize the inefficiency, or put in other words, maximize the efficiency of your menu prices. One of the key things in any menu pricing strategy is to maximize what I call menu value. Now, certainly everybody knows what value menu is. Those are price points at 99 cents that attracts transactions and are valuable to your business, but not as important as developing menu value. Menu value is the equilibrium between giving the guests great value, but also delivering operator profitability. And when you have that equilibrium, you have great menu value. And I'll go through some examples of where you have bad equilibrium. For example, when Wendy's introduced the 99-cent double cheeseburger, you had guests that were getting great value, but you had operators that had very high food costs and low profitable transactions. So your menu value was out of whack. Conversely, if you look at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, they have a strategy of focusing on very large burgers at $5, $6. And that strategy works when the economic times are really good. But right now we're headed towards a recession and guests are cutting back and moving to value menu. And since Carl's does not offer a value menu, they have a different type of disequilibrium whereas the operator receives great dollars on whatever he sells in $6 burgers, but the guest has poor value. And that translates into poor sales and poor profitability. So the goal for menu pricing is to maximize the deliverables on menu value. Next on our list is the assumption that perhaps maybe you shouldn't take a price increase. With every brand that I work at, roughly 25% of restaurants simply don't and shouldn't take a price increase. And I know that's difficult to swallow when you see your commodity costs, your labor costs going through the roof. But what good is a price increase if it drives your customers away or drives them to products that don't make as much money for you? If you're going to go from a $700,000 restaurant to $1 million restaurant, you're going to do it through transaction growth. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I hope you use the tools I showed here to your advantage in making smarter and better menu pricing decisions. If at any time in the future, please contact your franchise business consultant and they can get a hold of me. And I'd be more than delighted to talk through menu pricing strategies with you, assist you with any future endeavors, and love to hear of your future success. Again, thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you sometime in the future.